Hey everybody. Well, I've got to tell you that I've got to be honest with you, and I hope this message comes through loud and clear. That this is going to be my last message for a little while. Okay, I've been dealing with some personal stuff in my life the last year, we'll say, between uh, my finances, getting harassed, my kids being sick, losing my dog, having issues at my work, having to take a leave of absence from my work for a couple months. My kids being, my son was in the pediatric ICU for about a week there in October. I didn't ride my motorcycle all of September due to depression. And then obviously October, my wife and my daughter were sick. My son was sick, hospitalized. And then in November, my dog died. And then I went through a couple of rough months there. And honestly, you guys, I'm kind of back to normal. It's been a little bit of a rough 6 months, we'll say, a year, with the harassment stuff that's been going on. But I've really learned to retrain my brain and to not get so worked up about those other things. But there are certain things in my life, you guys, that trigger, trauma responses is what they call them. And a trauma response for me is going to be, anger or frustration or resentment. But what's triggering those responses is people lying, people stealing, people cheating, people not saying what they do and doing what they say. And it's really, really frustrating to me to watch people do that, because you know what? They may mean well and they may think they mean well, but to me, I look out for me and my family first. And if anybody comes on my turf or comes at me sideways because of something that they got going on and it affects my family, then I have to have boundaries. And man, I did not want to make this video because I love helping people. I really do, you guys. I've had this channel for, say, 3.5 years, right? I've been on YouTube for a long time, but I've never really figured out what YouTube was until about 2016. That's when I started watching YouTube and taking it all in, because I worked at this cabinet shop in Blaine, Minnesota. And there was a guy named Parker there, and I think he was from England. And he told me about YouTube and about this place where you can go and watch anything you want. You can watch conspiracy things, and you can watch this and watch that. And I think he turned me on to like UFOs and aliens. And so I started watching all that, and I got consumed with it, because at that time I got fired from the cabinet shop, or left the cabinet shop, and I started doing underground utility locating, which is a lot of walking and a lot of listening to podcasts and stuff. And so I listened, religiously to YouTube for quite a few years. And then I was like, you know what? I want to start my own channel because I think I can do what these other people are doing. And I thought, why not bring my brand of recovery to the table? My brand of recovery was, at that time, just kind of loose. I had a faith in a higher power. I was going to AA. I did the 90 and 90, and I did all that. And I got sober from alcohol in 2019 and sober from drugs in 2011. So I've gotten some time to commemorate. But when I got sober in 2019, something changed. I didn't want to go back. I didn't want to go back and be the same old deadbeat person that I was being, a deadbeat employee. I was a deadbeat dad, a deadbeat husband. And although I was going to work, I was a truly highly functioning alcoholic. I'm one of the best workers you'll ever find. I show up, I work hard. And now I'm getting in my older age now, where I'm just like, man, I'm getting old, and I feel like I'm getting wore down by all the labor. And I'm still doing part-time labor. So for me, that's what I know. So that's where I can make a little bit of a paycheck. But my sights are on other things. And that brings me to my next point. Between the heartaches, the hardships, and all the things that we have, the slips, the trips, the ups and downs, people are going to upset us. And, I'll get to this other thing here in a second. But the last couple of weeks have been centered around some frustration that I had after helping somebody, trying to help somebody, some people, right? Some people came to me and asked me if I would start a GoFundMe for them to help this person save his motorcycle. And then I subsequently found out that he had no plans of saving his motorcycle. He just needed cigarettes and gas money and pop money. And so the money that me and another couple of people donated went to him spending it on cigarettes and gas and pop and all this. And I guess I was a little upset, because when I started that GoFundMe, it was for saving a bike from repossession. But I found out that the bike was already in repossession. It was already getting repoed. There was no way to save it at this point. He owed too much. And so I was used, and it made me feel really, really dirty, really yucky, and ugh, kind of, meh. And I've been feeling meh for about 2 weeks now, and I know I've gotten some great advice from people in my life. I got some great advice today from my sponsor, my brother, a coworker, and people tend to tell me that I need to surround myself with people who are gonna not do those things, right? Lie, steal, cheat, and call names and do that sort of thing. We don't have time for those types of people in our lives because they're trying to bring you down to a level where they are. And if you're up here and you're gonna go down here, that's gonna affect our lives, right? Because it takes time to get up here. And that's why when we judge people after not even spending 1 hour in their shoes or 1 minute in their shoes, it's detrimental to our recovery. And in recovery, in the 12th step, which we've learned over the last couple of years, several years that we've shared these messages on this channel and on other social media outlets, that it's all about the 12th step. It's all about having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps. You carry this message to other suffering alcoholics and addicts and practice all these principles in all of our affairs, right? So the message doesn't go without substance, right? We have to be walking and talking in order for people to believe us. And so I'm coming to you guys in a moment of flux, in limbo, and I'm learning things, and I'm spiritually growing, and I'm also trying to put in place boundaries that people don't cross, because when they do cross those boundaries, I really honestly do get upset, and I don't go back on. Once I've given you a chance, it's not likely that I'm gonna give you a second chance, because when we talk about second chances on this channel, what we're talking about is a second chance at life. Not me giving people second chances after they've lied to me or steal or cheat or whatever. We have to forgive and forget, right? We got to move on. But in recovery, our second chance is what we're talking about when we come into this newfound life and newfound faith, that we can do this, that we don't have to go back to drugs and alcohol. That's the second chance we're talking about on this channel, right? And of course, we need to give people second chances, but we also need to hold people to the fire too. And if you're gonna say you're a Christian or you're gonna do this, you got to practice what you preach then, and you can't judge, call names, and that sort of thing. And if I felt like I was taken advantage of, I have every right to put into place the boundaries that I have, and not wanting to associate myself with those people who think that's okay, right? I don't have to be around those people. This has just turned into a big old smorgasbord of anxiety, of stress, of tension, all because two people came to me and asked me to help them save a motorcycle. And of course, I dove right in, head first, into the shallow end, not knowing that these two people were about to use me, my name, the platform, my social media presence, and they know that I'm that sort of individual that's going to go to bat for somebody who needs the help. But little did I know that the help wasn't what they were asking for. So, gosh darn it. Live and learn. This brings us to the next portion of this video, and this is the exciting part for me, because I get to tell you guys what's going to be coming up. So I am going to be taking a break from the channel, and as you can see, I already got a lot of stuff going on, and I know we've gained some people too. We've got some new people watching the messages, but unfortunately, I am kind of at a Y in the road, if you will. And I'm deciding to go one way when most people think I'm going to go the other way. But I am now officially a prospect in a Minnesota motorcycle club called the Dry Riders. I've been hanging around those guys I get the goosebumps just talking about it. This is exciting stuff for me, you guys. I've been looking for a family, and I've found some family out there. I found some Harley family and some motorcycle family and some hog family and some recovery family, and now I'm going to be prospecting, and I'm already a prospect. I've already signed. This is almost old news for me, because I just didn't want to share it right away, because I wanted to see how long I could go without trying to make it about me. But this video is going to be the catalyst on what's going to happen now, because I am going to be focused more on becoming a good quality member of a chapter that I think is welcoming me in and with open arms. And I want to spend time with my family. I want to spend time working on my own recovery. I want to spend time on enjoying life, right? And I think being in a motorcycle club that promotes abstinence from alcohol and drugs, I think being around those types of people is going to be good for me. And I'm making a decision, almost a lifelong decision, to be a part of this club, because I've seen enough good things in this group of people to know that they mean well. And gosh, I'm sure thankful that the Dry Riders allowed me to hang around and then let me be a part of the group. And I am yet a prospect. I got to be a prospect for a while, but I do have my patches, and I'm going to be getting a new vest and putting those on a new vest, and I'm still going to be a member of these other groups. I'm just not going to be as dedicated to those groups as this other group, because I feel like this path that I'm taking is going to set me apart from some of the other people that I see trying to do similar or same things that I'm doing, which is like helping people and stuff. But you know, I'm not trying to stall out here. I want to keep moving in my life, and I want to keep presenting good things. And I've been hanging around these guys for about a year. Okay. I know many of them personally now. I've spent time with these guys and their kids, and I've gotten to know them, and they've gotten to know me. And I think it's going to be a great opportunity for me to hang around cool people who are sober, no more stinking thinking bad ways. You know, they've gotten that part of their life over with, and now they've been practicing a program, whatever it is they've been practicing, it works for them because they haven't had to go back to drinking. So that's the sort of people that I want to be around, people that have major accountability on their behalf, because if for some reason they choose to be a drinker again or go back into that, they're losing a lot. So I find that very credible, because you know what, that shows accountability. And I'm really excited, you guys. I've been looking for this for a couple of years now. I've been searching and seeking and yearning to try to find a family that would take me in. And also, although I am a road captain in the Hog chapter, that's more of a corporate things, and my ties are to Harley Davidson and to the Hog, and I guess I'm okay with that to a degree. But I don't always necessarily agree with these corporations, and I don't always necessarily think I'm going to agree with the Dry Riders, but that's more of a family, right? That we do events, we do benefits, we do ice cream socials, sleep outs. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that we do, and I think I'm going to like that much more than, going and trying to please a corporate, base of people, because I can't buy a new motorcycle. I'm just not, it's not in my cards. And so to be, I'm not a sales lead. I'm not an up. I'm just somebody trying to enjoy my time around other people with motorcycles and stuff. And so it's not always my thing to go around and be around people who have 2-3 motorcycles and buying brand new all the time. And I mean, I love them. I love my Hob family. I really do. I love them. It's just a different thing. And so I'm excited. So as I look to close out this message, you guys, there are a few people that I really would like to thank on this channel and on Facebook and other places in general that have really, really, really helped me along my way here. And one of the people that I'm going to thank is Rita. And Rita Hagenhoff, baby nurse, as some of you guys know her, has been on my channel since almost day one. She provides a lot of support, encouragement, dedication to her faith, commitment to her faith than I have ever seen anywhere in anybody, really. She's, I've learned to not expect miracles, but to rely on them. And I truly believe that some of these people coming into my life, are a miracle. They're God sent, right? They're from the ether to me. And they were here to help me when I needed it. And going forward, I hope that they're still there to help me when I need it. And I'm there to help them when they need it. But somebody the other day called me a helper. He said, Jesse, you're a helper. No matter what you do, no matter where you go, what you get involved with, you're just willing to just get out there and help. And just no matter, you don't think, you just help. And I guess that's one of my qualities. But it's also a detriment. It's also a thing that I wish I could change too, because I've come so far in my life, and I always want you guys to know that I'm well, and that I'm doing well, and that things are great, and that I'm happy in my sobriety, and that I'm not going to go back to drinking or drugging. And I want you guys to know that I'm here and that I'm safe, and I want to be seen just like everybody else, right? But I've noticed that the more I make the videos, the more I edit, the more I want to be seen, the less I feel seen. So I figured I'd flip the script and do the reverse psychology and try to withdraw a little bit, invest into my own recovery for a while. And not saying I wasn't, but I was spending a lot of time trying to help other people and really fruitfully, right? I was trying to honestly try to help people. And it seemed like every time I went to help somebody, something or the other got in the way. And sometimes it was me, and sometimes it was them. And so it was just a symbiotic flow of is this person going to be the person that I'm able to help this time, or is it going to be a broken relationship again? Because I'm telling you, I'm losing friends by the day because I'm not willing to go back on what I believe. And what I believe is I don't want to be lied to. You can't steal from me, and you can't cheat me. And if you do any three of those things or hurt women and children, I'm not going to be your friend. I don't do it. I can't. It's ingrained in me not to go back on that. And I believe I'm going to start to attract better, more worthy people of being around, because these other people that are calling me names and that just want to right away, I'm not all about that. I need some time to think about who I want to surround myself with. And so as I go forward in giving any other messages going forward, they're going to be different. And they're going to be a little bit different because I think I'm not going to be so much just trying to be the helper, but just to be present and just to be something that, hey, if you jive with this, great. If you don't, cool with that too. You know what? Because your vibe attracts your tribe. And when we get along far enough in our path, people are going to start to see and make examples of you, whether you like it or not. You're the de facto leader because you're stepping up and being that person. Well, I want to be a leader of some sort. I'm just not sure what kind yet. So I'm going to step back and let other people lead and help and do all that sort of stuff. And I'm just going to take in for a while. And I feel very good in doing so. I want to thank you guys. At one point, I felt awfully alone. And I didn't feel like I had anybody. And so now to have so many people at my disposal, it really is a blessing. And I really am grateful for that. So I'm not going to go through the list of people because I don't want to leave anybody out. But I think a couple of you guys know, guys and girls, of course, know who you are and know when you comment or you reply or you give your feedback or your input, even if it isn't jiving with mine. I always so appreciate it because it doesn't have to jive with mine to be okay. You could say it any which way on my channel and in the comments, and I'm just really grateful and appreciative of the comments. It doesn't necessarily need to be about recovery or anything that I believe. I enjoy you guys' company, and I've had to delete a couple of people lately because I just think that I want to be surrounding myself with people who are going to be honest. And if you can't be honest with yourself, I know you're not going to be honest with me all the time. And if you lied to me once, shame on you. If you lie to me twice, shame on me. I just can't do it. I got too many boundaries right now to be messing around. And as you guys know, I've been through a lot in the last year. But one of the things I didn't have to do was drink alcohol or take illicit illegal narcotics, right? I haven't had to shoot drugs, snort drugs, smoke drugs, because for me, my life is much better without that sort of stuff. And what methamphetamine and cocaine and heroin and prescription pain pills and alcohol and all these things, what they got me was down a really hurting for certain road, and I didn't know how to turn around and come back. And so it was scary to go down those roads. So I'll never head down those roads again, God willing. And today, all I got to do is stay sober today. Worry about tomorrow on its own. Yesterday's history, tomorrow's a mystery. We'll keep going, keep trudging onward and upward. So thank you guys so much to all the people who've given me support lately. This is a long message, but it's needed. So I'm going to sign out now, and we'll see you when we see you. If you need me, find a way to get a hold of me, okay? I love you. God bless.